art history. Ta-da! You excited yet? If not, get pumped. We got work to do and not a lot of time to do it. First, allow me to introduce Randolph Rogers of New York. Okay, admittedly, he's not the exciting part of this video. I just have to introduce him to give you some context for the work of his that I'll be talking at you about. Please give a warm welcome to Ruth. Ruth Gleaning is one of Rogers' first popular marble statues created while he lived in Florence, Italy. She now resides at the Indianapolis Museum of Art. She was made in 1853, near the end of the neoclassical movement chronologically, but right smack dab in the middle of it stylistically. The clean, simple, yet elegant style of the sculpture, as well as its profound themes of loyalty and duty, make it a perfect example of the neoclassical style and ideals. The subject of this beautiful statue is a young woman stooping down to gather wheat left behind after the harvest, just in case you were fuzzy on what the word gleaning meant. With her left arm she holds the wheat she's collected, and with her right she reaches, presumably to pick up more. Her focus is not on her task, however, as her face is tilted up, her gaze shifted to something of interest passing by. Her garment has shifted, exposing her right breast and her bare feet. One could determine from her lack of shoes and the title of this piece that this woman is poor, without a husband or children, as she neither caters to him nor cares for them. This assumption is not incorrect. The biblical figure of Ruth, upon whom this image is based, was a widowed Moabite. Her mother-in-law, Naomi, an Israelite, had had the misfortune of losing both of her sons within a short time. The old woman released Ruth, who had been married to one of her sons, from her duty to the aged in-law, but Ruth refused to depart. She vowed to stay with Naomi and care for her, even though she would receive nothing in return. The devout Ruth said, "Do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. For where you go I will go, and where you lodge I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God." Naomi brings Ruth with her back to Israel, where Ruth cares for Naomi and goes out each day to gather wheat left behind by harvesters, as was the right of the poor, orphaned, and widowed to do. My interpretation of the moment depicted by this statue is that this is not the first time Ruth has come to this field to gather wheat. The first time she came, Boaz, who owned the field, saw her and told his workers to leave behind extra wheat for her. Despite her breast being exposed, this moment is not of eroticism but of vulnerability. Because it is her right breast that is exposed rather than her left, so her heart remains covered. Her gesture is one of duty and not specifically of love. She is looking up at Boaz from the low position of a widow and offering herself to him as a means of support for her beloved mother-in-law. Normally, I'm not one to give away the ending to a story, but I will, because this one's pretty cool. Boaz accepts his duty, marries Ruth, and they have a son named Obed, who would become the grandfather of King David. Yep, that David. Pretty cool, right? Can you see the resemblance? The visual depiction of this moment is powerful for me. I've heard and read the story of Ruth many times, but I've never considered Ruth's position in this way. I think this medium also works best for the story. Ruth isn't being over-emotional or dramatic, rather just doing her duty. Universal themes like humility and family and duty and the strength of women are all prominent within this piece and its context, with no room to be bogged down by frivolous gaiety or unnecessary opulence. She's just a girl kneeling in front of a boy, asking him to marry her. Not for love, but for duty, and because it's the best heroic action Ruth can give in her time, the sacrifice of herself for the good of others. Though Ruth's story takes up little real estate in the Bible, I would highly recommend giving it a read and considering the statues you do. It's pretty cool. Less cool is the bibliography I'm required to show at the end of this, but hopefully the intrigue you found from meeting the strong and honorable Ruth will satiate you far past the end of this video. Thank you for listening, or pretending to listen, and for now I bid you farewell.